Hello, everybody, and welcome to your post-match podcast live here from Wembley. We've not done one of these for a while, and you can tell by that intro video. Still got Darwin Núñez on it. I will get producer Ian to update in that in the days ahead. I'm your host, Theo Squires, joining you live from Wembley, where Liverpool have lost in the Community Shield on penalties to Crystal Palace. It's a very hot day here at Wembley, and there's been a lot of positives, but a lot of negatives for the Reds as well. Thanks as always to you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate the support. We are still trying to use these new microphones, and we appreciate we had a bit of audio difficulty when we were using it towards the end of last season. So if you are watching along and the audio is a bit dodgy, please let me know in the comments, and I will see if I can fix it during the broadcast. But we are live, so bear with us. It's been a long summer without using this equipment, so might have to give us a little bit of time to get back up to speed. But yeah, what can I say? Liverpool have lost the Community Shield on penalties to Crystal Palace. A 2-2 draw, lose 3-2 on penalties, and this one where Salah misses, McAllister misses, Harvey Elliott misses. When that happens, you don't stand a chance, do you? Before we get into the real thick of it, as we usually do, we'll shout out to our sponsors, NordVPN. To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, go to nordvpn.com/bloodred. Our link will also give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan. There's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link is in the podcast episode description box. For you regular viewers, listeners, you'll notice that's a bit of a familiar Nord shout-out, isn't it, that old one? But don't worry, you might, if we sell through this quite quickly, have a second one for you to look out for later on in the episode. But that's enough waffling from me. I think we should probably get on to the football now. We've got quite a few of you watching along, so please get your comments in, keep me company. I can't do this all on my own. We'll start with the start for Liverpool, because it was a positive 20 minutes, especially. Really good first half. We've just been in with Arne Slot for the post-match press conference, and he was really pleased with his team's performance up until Ismail Assar equalised to make it 2-2. But yeah, Hugo Ekitike, a debut goal for him after just 4 minutes, and what a goal it was. He receives the ball from Florian Wirtz. Nice little 1-2, gets it back, turns well on the edge of the box, and fires it into the bottom corner. It was a really encouraging performance from the Frenchman today. Gets his debut goal early, and he just looks so tidy. He looks like a real upgrade on Darwin Núñez. Obviously completed his move to Al Hilal yesterday. He's quick, but he drops in deep as well, and he links up really well with his teammates. And it's early days, but you can see a partnership blossoming really well there with Florian Wirtz. Mateta equalises in the 17th minute. Virgil van Dijk, he brings down Ismail Assar. Not much contact, in being honest, truth be told. Moments earlier, Alisson had done well to deny Mateta one-on-one, but from the follow-up, they win the penalty. Mateta sends Alisson the wrong way there to equalise. They're only level for 4 minutes, and Jeremy Frimpong fires Liverpool ahead. He gets in the debut scoring act, and it's a bit of a lucky strike, shall we say. Szoboszlai picks him out on the right. He looks up, dinks in this little cross, and floats over Dean Henderson's head, goes in off the post. He doesn't care. He gets his debut goal. 2 debut goal scorers for Liverpool for the first time, I think, since 2006, when Craig Bellamy and Mark Gonzalez scored against Maccabi Haifa all those years ago in the Champions League qualifiers. And then Liverpool don't really push on more than that. Ekitike comes off in the second half, and without a recognised striker, they start to concede a few more chances, and Ismail Assar gets the equaliser. Alexis McAllister, I think it was Szoboszlai maybe? Correct me here if I'm wrong. One of them gives the ball away in midfield. Sarr gets in behind Van Dijk and finishes quite well one-on-one. There was still a chance late on for Mohamed Salah to get the winner. Really good, nice low cross from Milos Kerkez, but Salah shoots straight at Dean Henderson. We go back earlier in the game. Ekitike, on another day, he gets a hat-trick. There's one Kerkez cross that he headed wide. Probably should have done better with that. And there was a Wirtz cross he got on the end of, but he sends his shot wide. As I've said, it was a really promising display from the Frenchman in attack. He was one of the big positives for Liverpool today. So was Florian Wirtz. It was like he had the ball on string at times. That's something to watch in the weeks, months ahead. A little bit miffed with the physicality of Palace later on in the game. But yeah, it was really good to see those two doing well for Liverpool here on this debut showing. Liverpool Goals TV there with a comment. That's the big positive, wasn't it? Those debut goals. Kevin Richards says it also shows the need for another striker, as we totally conceded an initiative when Hugo came off. Surely time for Chiesa. I'm sure Slot will see this. And the early season glitches out though. I can cover this a bit, because Slot has referenced it in the post-match press conference. Obviously, go on the Echo website for the full quotes. If Doyley's not turning them around as we speak, I might be once I finish the podcast. But he basically said that Ekitike, because he joined up with the squad a little bit late, obviously during the Asia tour, and they've got Bournemouth on Friday, he couldn't give him full 90 minutes, so he had to take him off. They had to protect him. They couldn't give him the full 90 minutes and risk an injury. But Chiesa did miss the Asia tour as well. He had a minor issue. I know he came off the bench against Bilbao, didn't he, in the second friendly on Monday. But Slot said that there isn't much there in reserve at the moment, so they've got to tread carefully. We know they would love Alexander Isak. We know the rejected bids happened a couple of weeks back. We know he's trying to force his way out of Newcastle. As we've been saying all along, it's watch this space, see what happens. If Newcastle's stance weakens and they're open to selling at a reasonable price, expect Liverpool to go back in for him. If not, they'll have to do something else, because we know they want a centre forward or a new forward at all, because Diaz has gone, Nunes has gone. I think Virgil van Dijk might have referenced this in one of the radio interviews today, saying Liverpool need another forward to help out up there. But the starting trio's looking really good. So we don't know what will happen with Chiesa. He's obviously been linked with a return to Italy all summer long. He's said he'd be open to it in the past, but he's also said he'd be happy to stay. He shows glimpses, doesn't he? But the fact that he doesn't get on today when Liverpool are in search of a goal or need a penalty, is this the sign of a player who is going to leave this summer? Or is it another case of he really did have a minor issue and they're trying to feed him back in carefully? Wait and see. It's been a baffling one, hasn't it, for Federico Chiesa? That's his Liverpool career in total. He's not going to be your first choice on the left. He's not going to be your first choice up front. And he's not going to be your first choice on the right. So, substitute role for him, or he's just going to have to make more of an impact, or he's moving on. We will expect to see Liverpool sign a new forward before the end of the summer. So, 2-3 weeks to go? Just watch this space. Liverpool Goals TV also says Ekitike was excellent, good signs that he's going to thrive at Liverpool. I'll tell you who he reminds me of. Fernando Torres. That bit of pace, the bit of power, the way he can drop the shoulder, a bit of trickery to get past his man, and deceptively strong as well in Torres' case, not Ekitike. Ekitike is huge, he's obviously going to be strong. But yeah, real good link-up play there, and as I've said, promising signs of that relationship with Florian Wirtz. I'm really not struggling to get the access, but I'm really emphasising that, because I know I made a fool of myself with my mispronunciation of Ekitike earlier in the summer. Liverpool Goals TV, thank you for all these comments. You're keeping us going here. Now, we had a few more. I'll get to a few more. It's not just I've got a favourite here. B says he reckons Isak will be signed at the end of the window. Newcastle won't want to confirm his departure without a replacement, as their fans will have a massive meltdown. Also, got to remember, Liverpool play Newcastle in that second game of the season, and you can imagine they would not want to sanction his departure until after that game. So that could be one that, if it does come back into play, it'll be late in the window. Who Knew 22 says it's pre-season and we just need a centre-back in this window. Well, I said to Paul Gorst at the final whistle, it's quite funny, isn't it, that Liverpool come to Wembley in March, lose to Newcastle, the match winner, Alexander Isak. Now, who could his next club be? They come to Wembley again today, they lose to Crystal Palace. Now, he wasn't their match winner, but who is the man holding off that trophy above my shoulder to the left about half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago? Mark Gay. We know Liverpool like him a lot. We know he's going to be available on a free next summer. It's whether something can happen now or they have to wait it out. He's a very good centre-back. He nearly created a winner for Palace, actually, in the 90 minutes. A really nice cross that Mateta flicked on. And I think it was Sarr headed wide at the far post. But Liverpool do need another centre-back. Joe Gomez is injured at the moment. You can tell Van Dijk, and maybe he's had an illness, hasn't he? Because he wasn't right today. He was struggling a bit with the physicality of Mateta, the pace and trickery of Sarr. Conceded the penalty. He was obviously out of position for the equaliser the second time around. It's not vintage Van Dijk. But he has been ill, so give him the benefit of the doubt and get these errors, if you can call them errors really, out of your system in the Community Shield, because it's not the trophy you want to win the most of all. You want to be in the game at the start of the season, but that's because you won the league the season before. So fingers crossed Liverpool will be back here again, the Community Shield this time next year, having won the Premier League again. But if not winning the Community Shield, it's not the end of the day. Another one with like Van Dijk signed his contract, Mohamed Salah signed his contract back in April, was it? Both of them weren't at their absolute best today, which is a little bit of a concern. Hopefully it's just teething problems. It's been a strange pre-season. We know what's happened with Diogo Jota. We know they came back as a result. And it's going to take time for him to get back up to speed. A lot of new players as well. Players leaving, players coming in. it takes time to adapt. I've mentioned Diogo Jota now, so I will reference what happened at the start of the game with the tributes. We had Ian Rush, Liverpool legend, and Crystal Palace owner Steve Parish, and a representative from the FA. They put down floral tributes behind the goal in front of Liverpool fans. Really lovely moment. Liverpool fans were singing "You'll Never Walk Alone" at that time. Then they burst into a rendition of Jota's chant. We saw Liverpool unveil a new tribute to Jota on the shirts and the warm-up jacket with the words "Forever 20" on the helm of the shirt and the sleeve of the jacket. That was really nice. But then the minute silence, we don't get a minute. It's disrupted by a handful of Crystal Palace fans. They're making noise. I'm not even going to say they were booing or jeering. I'm not sure whether they're just excited to be at Wembley, still making noise. It was only a small minority. The fans around them are shushing them, telling them to shut up, basically. They don't. Noise continues. Liverpool fans then boo them. And then it's responded by referee Chris Kavanagh, calling an end to that minute silence quite swiftly. Arne Slot has just been asked about this in the press conference, and he doesn't believe there was any ill intention. He just thinks it was a misunderstanding. And I don't want to say it's one of those things. It's unfortunate. It's really disappointing. He's pointed, though, to all the tributes across the world since Diogo Jota's sad passing, 6 weeks ago, roughly. They wouldn't disrespect him like that deliberately. Surely not. It is just maybe a couple of fans a bit excited, back at Wembley, had too much to drink, got carried away in the moment. And the majority of the Palace fans were telling him to shush and show their respects to Diogo Jota. So I'm sure we'll hear more on that, but it maybe isn't as sinister as it might have sounded on the television back home. What other comments have we had coming in? Obviously, we've had new striker, new centre-back. The new signing is doing really well. Martin Davis says the squad's looking a couple of players short at least. Centre-half, one more striker needed. I know that's kind of what we've already said. It's true, isn't it? Because if you look at the bench today, you had Mamadashvili, Endo, McAllister, Chiesa, Elliott, Robertson, Enyoni, Doak and Engamoa. Now, we know Ben Doak could move on. We know Harvey Elliott could move on. That leaves you short again. And then Joe Gomez comes back from injury. Connor Bradley comes back from injury. But you still want another forward, at least one, maybe two. And that Alexander Isak, ideally. You want a centre-back. They've been linked with the lad from Parma that a couple of you are saying in the comments. What's his name? Is it Giovanni Leone? Is that right? Someone correct me. Yeah, Giovanni Leone. He's only 18. Then you've got people saying need a right-back as well. I think that's a bit of a bold call. That was who knew 22. They've got Bradley and Frimpong. I don't think they need another right-back, but they certainly need something defensively. And then it's how much of an impact are the kids going to make on this squad. You've also got to remember as well, Ryan Gravenberch wasn't here today because his partner, I believe, is just about to give birth. I say about to. I don't know how suddenly that will be. But yeah, she is heavily pregnant. They're about to welcome a new arrival. Congratulations to them. Brilliant news. And no Kostas Tsimikas today. We believe that could be transfer related. I think Ian Doyle wrote the piece, so go and check that out on our website. Interest from the likes of Nottingham Forest, Leeds United. I think he's got a few more as well. But we know Liverpool have got 3 left-backs in their squad after signing Kirkes. 3 into 2 was never going to work, really, even though one of them could play centre-back. So not a massive surprise if Tsimikas does move on, but they maybe do need a little bit more depth in that squad. And, all right, I promised another a Nord shout-out, so let's do that now before I forget, because we have got a few more comments to get through. So let's do this now, because we love NordVPN, obviously. We all know we love NordVPN. We're on board with Nord. We've not quite got a smart one for Staley yet, but we have got, we do Up for the Cup, for those of you that love the League Cup and the FA Cup. Joe Rimmer's option for this one was out on the field for the Shield. We are out in the field. Just didn't come home with a shield today, unfortunately. But yes, a bit of waffle there before we go on to Saley. So it's the summer holidays. If you're going away, NordVPN have this new eSIM out, which makes it's available for download wherever you get your apps, and it will allow you to have really reliable and affordable internet across the world. Access on your trip abroad. Obviously, with Brexit, we all lost that free data, didn't we, on the continent? So Saley is a way to get around this with a new eSIM service app brought to you by the creators of NordVPN. Here you can choose from several affordable eSIM data plans and over 200 destinations. And with Saley's eSIM, you'll always have a connection when needed. I am going on holiday to the United States in about 2 weeks. And I will be getting on Saley and using that because I believe I'm going to see into Miami game, seeing Luis Suarez for one last time. So obviously I'm going to spam the gram. Who doesn't spam the gram when they're on holiday? And I won't be able to do that without Saley's reliable internet access, giving me some data out there in the States. So yeah, download Saley in your app store, use our code BLOODRED at checkout, and you get an exclusive 15% off your first purchase. Bargain. For more information, please go to our episode description box for further details. Click saley.com/bloodred. My little script here says full details can be found in the attached document. I don't believe any of you have access to my attached document, so I will just reassure you that the information should be in your episode description box underneath my floating head right now. And if not, I'll make sure that it is in the description box on wherever you get your podcast, really. I have to put it in on our program called Megaphone, but yeah, that goes out to all the places that you download your podcasts from. So have a look out for that if you want to get onto Saley. I've had a few more comments in. Who Knew 22 said he forgot about Connor Bradley. You're forgiven, Who Knew 22. It's fine. Will he be fit for Bournemouth? Now, this I'm not sure on. We haven't really asked Arne Slot for an update on Connor Bradley since we knew he was missing the Bilbao game. He wasn't mentioned in Friday's pre-match press conference. Joe Gomez was. Joe Gomez has got a minor Achilles injury. Slot said he should be back fairly soon. Not sure how soon. Obviously, he was missing today. Connor Bradley, it shouldn't be serious. We'll just wait and see. With the game being on Friday, I'd imagine we'll hear from Arne Slot on Thursday and get an update then. He wasn't asked about either in the post-match just now. Understandable, really. It's not the go-to, is it? After you lose a Community Shield. But yeah, hopefully nothing too serious, and I'll be back in contention soon. We've got a couple of comments telling me to enjoy my holiday. Thank you very much. Peter Snape. I'm loving the fact that your surname's Snape. But yeah, Palace deserved the win. Oh, no, sorry. Shouldn't have put that one up. Naughty, naughty. You will not know what happened there if you're following this on audio. But rest assured, if you really want to know what happened there, you can go on the video version. It was an error on my part, and we'll say no more about it. Tut, tut, Snape. That was very mischievous of you. And now I've gone full Alan Partridge. If we got any more comments, or if we talk a bit more footy, I think, as I've already said, I was a little bit concerned about Mohamed Salah today. Not his absolute best. Still coming to grips with his relationship with his link-up player with Jeremy Frimpong. He has a chance, he doesn't take it. And then he misses in the shootout. He skies his effort, and he's skied 2 penalties in a week now. Like, it's one thing when Salah misses twice in a week. To miss the target, that's just unheard of, isn't it? So he's not quite there ahead of the new season. McAllister, you can tell he's been injured as well. He was a bit rusty when he came on. Still got some valuable minutes. Yeah, so that's what I mean when I said positives and negatives. You get in there in some places. Some of the players are looking really sharp. Verts look good. Ekatike look good. The new signings look good. But some of the other ones need a bit more fine-tuning, don't they? One positive we can say is Alisson Becker was back today. Missed quite a lot of pre-season, hasn't he, with for a variety of reasons. There was that personal issue with his wife, I believe, undergoing an operation in Brazil. But he was back today, made a couple of big saves, kept Liverpool in it at the end. Good to see him back. Best goalkeeper in the world, isn't he? So happy days. He's still got Mamardashvili in reserve. Freddie Woodman was here as well today, but he didn't make the bench. We'll go through some of the stats and Doyley's player ratings now. If you look at the stats, Liverpool have 60% possession, quite level on the shots, 14 for Palace, 12 for Liverpool, 4 on target for Palace, 5 on target for Liverpool. Total touches inside the opposition box was 21 and 22. Liverpool just holding the edge there. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here because a few Palace people are just holding up the Community Shield on the halfway line on the side of the pitch. Fortunately, Palace persuasion, not Liverpool. But yeah, Arne Slot, one of the positives he said in his post-match press conference was Liverpool created a lot more than maybe they were last season. But the counter of that is they're conceding a lot more than they were last season. So whereas games last season, you'd see them winning 1-0, 2-1. Score 2 here, and end up on the losing side, admittedly by penalties. It was very disappointing and something they do need to work on ahead of the new Premier League season. Hopefully, they'll have 2-3 days to prepare for Bournemouth once you've got taken days off into consideration and recovery. They can fine-tune a little bit more. You'd imagine the back five that starts today is the back five that start against Bournemouth. Midfield, it could be an unchanged 11, let's be honest, because Gravenberch will be suspended. McAllister's still feeling his way back. And say, even in that ideal world, if they sign Isak in the next 2 days, he's not had a proper pre-season. You're not going to throw him into starting 11. So this is what Liverpool are dealing with at the moment, what they're working with at the moment. So it's just getting back on that training pitch, tuning things up and seeing how they go. Have we had any more comments? Oh, big call here from Liverpool Goals TV saying Salah is not the main man anymore. Our new signings mean he does not carry all the pressure. Remember, he won't be around forever, and we have to get other players to step up. Well, I think that's what 195, whatever it is, strike partnerships for, isn't it? Ekitike and Florian Wirtz, as we've said a number of times already in this episode. The two of them really promising, both really young. If they can get you 10, 15, 20 goals, assists in Wirtz's case, that's happy days, isn't it? Salah will still get you 20. He's not going to get you 30 plus this season, you'd imagine, with that Africa Cup of Nations looming in December and January. But Liverpool's attacking options, starting wise, looking really strong, really positive. Player ratings now. Doyley had excellent rating for Hugo Ekitike, but one man gets a 5 out of 10. We'll start with Ekitike. I believe he's the man who got an 8. Yes, took the opening goal incredibly well. Showed a few neat touches, offered himself as a focal point, and demonstrated a good turn of pace. And then everything kind of fell apart a bit when he was substituted in the 71st minute. I think Alisson also got an 8. Yeah, Alisson gets an 8 as well. Made an excellent stop when one-on-one with Mateta, but no chance for penalty. Good stops from Richards and Eze in the second half. And he saved one of the penalties too. It was a good save too onto the post. Palace had another one that hit the bar in that shootout. You couldn't really do much about any of those. You're not looking at them going, Alisson should do better. So a good display from him on his return. And the man who got 5 out of 10, he's the captain, it's Virgil van Dijk. Not his best day at the office. Hopefully, just a few teething problems after illness. He'll get that out the system. His height was important when dealing with Palace set pieces, but he was rash to concede the penalty. And then he unwisely attempted to play the same player offside for the second equaliser, says Mr. Ian Doyle, or to give him his full name, Ian Doyle Sport. If you want to see Doyley's full player ratings, then go to the Echo website. They're there in all their glory. Have a look at looks and see what else is up for you now, because we should have Doyley's snap analysis. I'll give you a clue. It features Alexander Isak as well as Hugo Ekitike. On the website, we've also got a little bit about the Jota tribute being cut short from that disruption in the Palace end. We've got the latest on Kostas Tsimikas' future and why he wasn't in the squad today. I believe Paul Gorst's verdict has just gone up as well. What slotted in the 70th minute highlighted Liverpool transfer need as issues clear. So go and have a read of that. We will have all the reaction from Slot coming up very, very shortly on the Echo website, and both this evening and in the morning. And then we'll have maybe some mixed zone quotes. Normally it's Virgil van Dijk, so maybe the skipper's stopped in the mixed zone and Gorsty's got hold of him. And then all your usual post-match reaction tomorrow. I'm not sure if we're bringing you a post-match podcast, a Blood Red podcast. I apologise, Blood Red. Well, I'll never try and steal your thunder here at post-match podcast, brought to you by Blood Red. But yeah, we might have Blood Red with you tomorrow. If we do, it's not going to be me, I'm off. So it would be Doyley and Gorsty. If it's not those two, we might be back on Tuesday, try and get a third man in. I'm not sure. Basically, just keep an eye on the channel, turn the little bell on, have all your alerts on. We will be live on Blood Red at some point at the start of this week, and at some point at the end of the week ahead of Bournemouth. Have a quick look at the comments to see if any more of you have got anything to say about this Community Shield defeat for Liverpool. Well, while I'm having a read of that, I'll just sum it up again. Positives, Ekitike, Florian Wirtz. Liverpool look very good offensively. Frimpong very bright at times getting forward. Negatives, players looking a bit iffy. Van Dijk, not his best. McAllister, when he came on, not his best. Salah, not his best. Bad missed penalties. Salah sky in the bar. A weak penalty from Harvey Elliott. I suppose we could touch on his future, didn't we? We know he's had talks with RB Leipzig. Obviously, nothing has developed as Darwin Núñez swiftly going towards or leaving yesterday for Al Hilal. Elliott has had talks, but nothing particularly close there, considering he was involved today. He's come off the bench today, and he missed the penalty, kept out by Dean Henderson. McAllister missed as well, and you thought he would have been a sure thing to score a penalty. But at least Szoboszlai and Gakpo scored. Not enough. Liverpool lose 3-2 on penalties. But yeah, some really nice attacking stuff, some pretty iffy defensive stuff, and a mixed bag from some of the players. If you want a more eloquent description of the Liverpool performance, go to the Echo website for Doyley's player ratings and the Gorsty verdict. That might be all we have time for. I've been waffling on for about 25 minutes now, and these Arne Slot quotes will not write themselves. As I've said, we'll be back on Blood Red tomorrow or Tuesday. I will get Ian Kroll, producer Ian, as he is affectionately known, to update the Darwin Núñez intro and outro. The reason I went for it, if in case you're wondering, is because the alternative was a black screen that counted down from 30. And I don't think anyone has the patience to wait for a countdown from 30 to 0. Darwin Núñez, nice solid 4 seconds. There, we're there. Bang. But yeah, you're going to have to put up with 4 seconds of Darwin Núñez. That's all we've got time for. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your support and all your comments as always. Post-match podcast should be back to you on Friday, assuming this audio has all worked okay. None of you in the comments said your audio's rubbish, it's all crackly. So if you're watching Producer Ian, I'm hoping we fixed the issue. Maybe the problem was I always just did it in a busy press box, a busy stadium. I'm one of the last people here at the moment, apart from the people picking up the seats. So maybe we just need a bit of quiet, and it's just my voice booming out into the atmosphere that is a enjoyable experience for everyone, I'm sure, as they're trying to write all their copy with me whittering on. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your comments. Third shout out to NordVPN. Why not? On board with Nord. Go and get Saley. Go and get NordVPN if you haven't already. We know how popular VPNs are at the moment. Not the best day for Liverpool at the Community Shield, but the sun's still shining. Nice clear blue sky. I've got a bit of work to do. And then we'll be on our way back home. Hopefully back in Liverpool. What are we on now? 7 o'clock, which is summertime. Maybe we'll be home for midnight. Fingers crossed. And then it's into another week and the start of the Premier League season. And a bit more Premier League entertainment and transfers to keep us going. I've been Theo Squires. Thanks and goodbye.